Ever wondered what really happens behind the velvet ropes of Buckingham Palace? It's not just about crowns and castles. There's a secret language, an intricate dance of power and decorum that governs every royal move. What appears to be simple. Pageantry is actually a complex system where a single misstep can trigger international incidents, and where every gesture carries centuries of meaning. In March 2009, the world watched in shock as British Prime Minister Gordon Brown presented President Obama with a set of DVDs as a diplomatic gift. The media focused on the seeming cheapness of the present, but the real scandal was protocol-based. Brown had violated the ancient rule that gifts between heads of state must be of equivalent value and cultural significance. Obama's gift to Brown was a rare pen set made from wood of a 19th-century British ship. While Brown's DVDs couldn't even be played on American machines due to regional encoding, this wasn't just poor planning. It was a protocol breach that signaled either disrespect or ignorance of diplomatic traditions that have prevented conflicts for centuries. The pecking order in royal appearances operates like an invisible chess, a game where every move is calculated and nothing is left to chance. When you see the royal family on the Buckingham Palace balcony during major events, their positioning follows strict hierarchical rules that reflect constitutional importance. The monarch always occupies the center position with immediate heirs to the throne position to their right. But here's what most people don't realize. The distance between each person is precisely measured. Standing closer to the monarch indicates higher favor and constitutional importance, while being positioned further away sends subtle messages about current standing within the family structure. This positioning becomes particularly fascinating during times of royal scandal or family tension. Royal watchers with trained eyes can detect family dynamics by observing these seemingly casual arrangements. When Prince Andrew stepped back from royal duties, his positioning during subsequent balcony appearances gradually shifted from the front row to less prominent positions, communicating his changed status without any official announcement needed. The 2011 royal wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton provided a masterclass in protocol hierarchy that most viewers completely missed. The seating arrangement in Westminster Abbey wasn't based on personal relationships or family closeness, but on strict constitutional precedents. Foreign royalty sat in specific sections based on their relationship to the British Crown, with Commonwealth realm monarchs receiving priority over European royalty, regardless of personal friendships or political alliances. But perhaps the most shocking example of how minor protocol breaches can cause major diplomatic incidents occurred during President Trump's 2019 state visit, when he briefly walked ahead of Queen Elizabeth II during the inspection of the Guard of Honor. It created a diplomatic crisis behind the scenes. The Queen always leads during ceremonial inspections, and guests must remain slightly behind her. Pace. Trump's breach wasn't intentional, but it required immediate diplomatic smoothing with apologies from the American embassy and careful editing of official photographs. To minimize the protocol violation, understanding these rules becomes crucial when you realize that royal events you've watched on television were actually complex diplomatic negotiations, played out through ceremony. Every curtsy depth indicates the relationship between the individuals involved. A shallow curtsy suggests equality of rank, while a deeper curtsy acknowledges significant hierarchical difference. When Meghan Markle curtsied to Queen Elizabeth II during their first meeting, the depth and duration of her curtsy was carefully coached to communicate appropriate respect without appearing subservient, striking a delicate balance between American independence and British tradition. The seemingly simple act of walking through doorways becomes a choreographed performance during royal events. The rule is absolute. The monarch enters first, followed by immediate family members in order of succession. But there's a fascinating exception called precedence by invitation, where the monarch can gesture for others to precede them as a mark of special honor. When this happens, it's front-page news in royal circles, as it represents a significant break from centuries of tradition. Gift exchanges operate under their own complex diplomatic protocols that most people never see. When foreign dignitaries present gifts to royalty, the items must be received by specific staff members trained in cultural sensitivities. The gifts are then cataloged, photographed, and often displayed in ways that communicate the giver's importance. More expensive gifts aren't necessarily better. They must be culturally appropriate and politically neutral. A gift that's too expensive can be seen as attempting to buy influence, while one that's too cheap appears disrespectful. The royal family's clothing choices function as diplomatic messaging tools that operate below most people's awareness. When Queen Elizabeth II wore yellow during her visit to Australia, she was honoring their national colors. She chose blue and white for events with Greek dignitaries. She was acknowledging their flag. These aren't coincidences. They're carefully planned diplomatic communications that require weeks of preparation and cultural research. The timing of royal appearances follows strict protocols that can make or break diplomatic relationships. Arriving early suggests over-eagerness, while arriving late implies disrespect. The Queen always arrived exactly on time, never early, never late, setting a standard that required precise coordination between security teams, transportation, and event organizers across multiple countries. Understanding these unspoken rules reveals that every royal event is actually a carefully orchestrated performance. Whispers of the court, decoding subtle signals. Imagine a world where a handshake can determine the fate of international treaties, where the angle of a bow communicates volumes about political relationships, and where a seemingly friendly wave carries coded messages understood only by those initiated into the secret language of royal protocol. Welcome to the hidden communication system that operates in plain sight. During every royal encounter, the art of royal handshakes operates according to rules so precise that diplomatic training programs spend entire sessions teaching the correct approach. The fundamental principle is simple but absolute. The monarch or highest-ranking royal always extends their hand first. This isn't mere courtesy. It's a display of sovereign authority that dates back centuries when touching royalty without permission was considered treasonous. When President Bush Sr. grabbed Queen Elizabeth II's arm during a 1991 state dinner, it sent shockwaves through the British establishment, not because of rudeness, but because it violated the sacred principle that physical contact must always be initiated by the royal person. But the intricacies go far deeper than who moves first. The duration of a royal handshake carries profound meaning. A brief 2-second clasp indicates formal acknowledgement, nothing more. A handshake lasting 4 to 5 seconds suggests genuine warmth and approval. Extended handshakes of 7 seconds or more are reserved for special relationships and signal significant favor. Royal watchers with trained eyes can determine the health of diplomatic relationships simply by timing these interactions with stopwatches. The positioning of hands during these exchanges tells its own story. When a royal places their left hand over the clasped hands, creating a sandwich grip, it indicates exceptional warmth and personal connection. This gesture is so rare that when Queen Elizabeth II used it during her meeting with Nelson Mandela, it made international headlines as a sign of her profound respect for the former South African president. Conversely, a handshake where the royal's hand remains on top demonstrates maintained authority, while positioning their hand underneath can indicate deference or respect for the other person's achievements. Bowing and curtsying follow mathematical precision that would impress engineers. The depth of a bow or curtsy directly corresponds to the hierarchical relationship between the individuals involved. A nod of acknowledgement suffices for peers, while a slight bow from the neck shows respect. 2 higher-ranking royals. A full bow from the waist, reserved for the monarch, must reach a precise 15-degree angle, held for exactly 3 seconds. Women's curtsies follow similar rules, with the depth and duration carefully calibrated to communicate appropriate respect, without appearing either insufficient or overly dramatic. The most fascinating aspect of these physical gestures is how they adapt for different cultural contexts while maintaining their essential meaning. When Japanese Emperor Akihito visited Britain, the traditional British bow was modified to incorporate elements of the Japanese ojiji, creating a hybrid gesture that honored both cultural traditions while maintaining proper protocol hierarchies. Such adaptations require months of diplomatic negotiation and cultural consultation to ensure no offense is given to either tradition. Seating arrangements at royal events function as three-dimensional maps of power relationships, where proximity to the monarch translates directly into political and social influence. The closer you sit to the royal person, the higher your status, and the stronger your relationship with the crown. But this system operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Distance matters, but so does angle. Sitting directly across from royalty suggests equality and open communication. Sitting at an angle implies respectful attention, without claiming equal status. During state banquets, these seating dynamics become incredibly complex. The high table where royalty sits is positioned to oversee the entire room, but guests at lower tables are arranged according to their own internal hierarchies. Ambassadors sit according to the length of their country's relationships with Britain. Commonwealth representatives receive priority over European Union officials. Military leaders are positioned based on their rank and their nation's defense relationships with the UK. A single dinner can require weeks of diplomatic negotiation. To ensure no protocol violations occur, the power of proximity extends beyond formal meals to all royal gatherings. During garden parties, the invisible circles around each royal family member operate like magnetic fields. The inner circle within 10 feet is reserved for personal guests and high-ranking officials. The middle circle accommodates dignitaries and honored guests. The outer circle includes general invitas, who may receive acknowledgement but not direct interaction. Crossing these invisible boundaries without invitation can end careers and destroy diplomatic relationships. The royal wave represents, perhaps, the most misunderstood aspect of royal communication. What appears to be a simple, friendly gesture is actually a sophisticated signaling system with multiple variations, each carrying specific meanings. The standard royal wave, performed with a slight rotation of the wrist and fingers together, indicates general acknowledgement of crowds. A more animated wave with fingers spread and larger arm movement suggests genuine enthusiasm and celebration. The height of the wave communicates different messages to different audiences. A wave held at shoulder level maintains dignity while showing accessibility. A higher wave above the head indicates celebration or special excitement about the event. A lower wave suggests more reserved acknowledgement, often used during solemn occasions or when maintaining formal dignity is paramount. The direction of the wave tells its own story. Waving directly forward acknowledges the primary audience or most important guests. Waving to the sides includes broader crowds or secondary audiences. The famous royal sweep, where the wave moves gradually from one side to another, ensures no section of the audience feels ignored while maintaining the hierarchical importance of different groups. Perhaps most intriguingly, the absence of a wave communicates as powerfully as its presence. When royalty choose not to wave during specific moments, it sends clear messages about their feelings toward particular groups or situations. This selective acknowledgement operates as a form of soft diplomacy, rewarding support while subtly expressing disapproval without creating overt controversy. The timing of waves follows strict protocols related to the formality of events. During arrival ceremonies, waves begin only after security clearance and official greetings are complete. During departure, the final wave must occur from the designated departure point, never while walking away from the audience. These temporal boundaries maintain dignity while ensuring security protocols are never compromised for the sake of public relations. Understanding these subtle signals reveals that every royal appearance is actually an intricate performance where centuries-old tradition The King's Gambit. Power plays in plain sight behind the elegant facades and carefully orchestrated public appearances, lies a sophisticated game of power where clothing becomes armor. Personal space transforms into battlegrounds, and even a smile can determine the course of diplomatic relationships. The royal family operates within a system where seemingly trivial details carry enormous weight, and where mastering these invisible rules can mean the difference between international success and career-ending disasters. The strategic use of dress codes in royal circles operates far beyond simple fashion choices, functioning as a complex communication system that sends messages to multiple audiences simultaneously. When Queen Elizabeth II chose to wear green during her historic visit to Ireland in 2011, she wasn't simply selecting a flattering color. Green represented Irish nationalism, and by wearing it, she was communicating respect for Irish identity. While subtly acknowledging the complex history between the two nations, the decision required months of diplomatic consultation and cultural research. Wearing the wrong shade or style could have been interpreted as mockery or appropriation. Rather than respect, the power of royal dress codes extends to enforcing hierarchy even among family members. During official events, younger royals must follow specific guidelines that ensure they never outshine senior family members. Catherine, Princess of Wales, learned this lesson early when her choice of a stunning Alexander McQueen dress for a 2012 event drew more media attention than Queen Elizabeth II's outfit at the same function. Subsequent appearances showed more subdued color choices and less dramatic styling, demonstrating how dress codes function as tools of hierarchical control. Within the family structure itself, men's royal attire follows equally strict but less obvious rules. The number of military medals displayed, the type of uniform chosen, and even the angle of a hat brim all communicate specific messages about rank, achievement, and current favor within the royal hierarchy. When Prince Harry appeared at official events after stepping back from royal duties, observers noted subtle changes in his uniform choices that signaled his altered status within the family structure. These weren't random decisions, but carefully calculated adjustments that communicated his new position without requiring official announcements. The concept of personal space around royalty operates like an invisible force field with clearly defined boundaries that vary based on relationship, rank, and circumstance. The primary zone, extending approximately 3 feet from any royal person, is absolutely sacred. Only immediate family members, personal staff, and specifically invited individuals may enter this space. Unauthorized entry into this zone can end careers instantly and has caused numerous diplomatic incidents throughout history. The secondary zone, extending 6 feet from royalty, accommodates official interactions, formal greetings, and ceremonial functions. This is where handshakes occur, where gifts are presented, and where brief conversations take place. Even within this zone, specific positions carry different meanings. Standing directly in front of a royal person suggests formal business or official capacity. Positioning to the side indicates supportive role or advisory capacity. Standing behind is reserved for security and personal staff only. The tertiary zone encompasses the general area around royalty during public events. This space is carefully managed by advanced teams who use seemingly natural barriers like rope lines, gardens, or architectural features to maintain appropriate distances while appearing welcoming to crowds. The genius of this system is that most people never realize they're being managed by these invisible boundaries, violations of these personal space. Rules create immediate tension that trained royal watchers can detect instantly. When individuals move too close too quickly, royal security doesn't always intervene directly. Instead, subtle adjustments occur. A royal person might step back slightly, creating distance while appearing natural. Staff members might move closer, creating a subtle barrier. Other guests might be repositioned to restore proper spatial relationships. These adjustments happen so smoothly that most observers never notice the careful choreography required to maintain protocol. The strategic deployment of smiles and direct eye contact operates as one of the most powerful tools in the royal communication arsenal. A genuine royal smile, characterized by engagement of both mouth and eyes, indicates authentic pleasure and approval. This type of smile is reserved for special relationships, significant achievements, or moments of genuine joy. When Queen Elizabeth II smiled genuinely during her meeting with children, at hospitals or schools, communicated maternal warmth and personal investment that no amount of formal protocol could achieve. The diplomatic smile, more common in official settings, maintains warmth while preserving appropriate distance. This smile engages the mouth while keeping the eyes neutral, creating an appearance of friendliness without suggesting intimate connection. Masters of royal protocol can distinguish between these smile types instantly, understanding that they communicate very different messages about relationships and royal favor. The absence of smiles carries equally powerful messages. A neutral expression during greetings suggests formal acknowledgement without personal warmth. When combined with shorter interaction times and reduced eye contact, it communicates disapproval or displeasure without creating overt controversy. This technique allows royalty to express dissatisfaction with particular individuals or situations while maintaining public dignity and avoiding direct confrontation. Direct eye contact from royalty operates according to precise timing rules that most people never consciously notice but instinctively respond to. Brief eye contact lasting 2 to 3 seconds indicates acknowledgement and basic courtesy. Extended eye contact of 5 to 7 seconds suggests genuine interest and engagement. Eye contact lasting more than 10 seconds is reserved for intimate family members or moments of profound significance and can create powerful emotional connections that last for years. The strategic withholding, kiza, of eye contact sends equally clear messages. When royalty looks slightly over someone's head rather than directly at them, it indicates formal acknowledgement without personal engagement. Looking past someone entirely suggests dismissal or displeasure. These subtle variations allow royalty to communicate complex emotional and political messages without ever speaking directly about their feelings. The coordination of these elements creates a sophisticated system where dress codes establish context, personal space defines relationships, and eye contact plus facial expressions communicate emotional content. Together, they form a complete communication system that operates parallel to verbal communication. It's often conveying more accurate information about true feelings and political relationships than any spoken words ever could. Understanding these power dynamics reveals that every royal interaction is actually a carefully orchestrated performance where centuries of tradition meet. Beyond the balcony, the private protocol when the cameras stop rolling and the public crowds disperse. The royal family retreats into a private world where protocol becomes even more rigid. It's more complex and more emotionally charged than anything witnessed during public appearances. Behind closed doors at Balmoral, Sandringham, and Windsor, the unspoken rules that govern family relationships reveal themselves to be far more intricate and unforgiving than the diplomatic protocols that capture public attention, the private pecking order within the royal family operates with mathematical precision that would challenge computer algorithms. Unlike public events where constitutional rank determines positioning, private gatherings follow a complex hierarchy that weighs constitutional importance against personal relationships, family history, and current favor. At private dinner parties, the monarch still occupies the head of the table, but the seating arrangement around them reflects subtle family dynamics that can shift based on recent events, personal achievements, or family tensions. During private Christmas celebrations at Sandringham, this hierarchy becomes particularly visible to those granted insider access. The order in which family members open gifts follows strict protocols based on age and constitutional rank, but with fascinating exceptions that reveal the human side of royal relationships. The monarch opens gifts first, followed by immediate heirs, but grandchildren and great-grandchildren often receive special consideration that breaks traditional ranking. When Prince George receives attention before his uncles and aunts, it demonstrates how the future of the monarchy takes precedence over current adult relationships. The private dining protocols at royal residences operate with even greater formality than state banquets. Family members cannot sit until the monarch is seated. Conversation cannot begin until the monarch speaks first. Meals cannot start until the monarch takes the first bite. And they conclude when the monarch places utensils down, regardless of how much food remains on other plates. These rules apply even during casual family meals, creating an atmosphere where spontaneous family interaction must navigate centuries of established protocol. Perhaps most surprisingly, private royal gatherings often enforce stricter dress codes than public events. While public appearances allow for some flexibility based on event requirements and weather conditions, private family meals require full formal attire, even for simple dinners. Men must wear jackets and ties for all meals, while women must dress as if attending official functions. These standards never relax, creating an environment where family members can never truly be casual or spontaneous in their interactions. The gift-giving protocols within the royal family reveal fascinating insights into how personal relationships intersect with diplomatic considerations. Christmas presents exchanged between family members must be opened in order of constitutional importance, but the content of these gifts follows different rules entirely. Practical, useful gifts are preferred over expensive luxury items, reflecting a family culture that values practicality despite enormous wealth. When Princess Diana gave her mother-in-law a toilet paper holder decorated with the phrase, "My mother-in-law is a pain in the ass," it broke protocol by being both humorous and slightly inappropriate, yet it was reportedly received with genuine appreciation because it demonstrated personal thought rather than expensive formality. International gift-giving operates under completely different rules that blend personal relationships with diplomatic necessity. When foreign dignitaries present gifts to royal family members, these items become part of the royal collection and cannot be used personally. However, gifts between royal families of different countries can be kept personally if they meet specific criteria regarding appropriateness, value, and cultural sensitivity. The process of determining which gifts can be accepted, which must be donated to charity, and which becomes state property, requires consultation with diplomatic advisors, cultural experts, and sometimes even security specialists. The most intriguing aspect of royal gift protocols involves the strategic giving of presents to send diplomatic messages. When Queen Elizabeth II presented President Kennedy with a breeding pair of swans during his visit, she wasn't simply offering beautiful birds. Swans mate for life and represent loyalty and longevity in relationships. The gift was actually a diplomatic message about the enduring nature of the Anglo-American alliance, communicated through symbolism that both cultures could appreciate. Without anyone having to make political statements directly, the deliberate breaking of protocol for strategic advantage reveals perhaps the most sophisticated aspect of royal communication. When Princess Diana hugged AIDS patients in the 1980s, she was deliberately violating the fundamental rule that royalty do not initiate physical contact with the public. However, this protocol breach was carefully calculated to send a powerful message about the safety of human contact with AIDS patients, helping to combat dangerous misinformation. While positioning the royal family as compassionate and medically informed, similarly, when Queen Elizabeth II invited the Obamas for a private lunch rather than a formal state dinner during one of their visits, she was strategically breaking protocol to communicate a more personal relationship. State dinners follow rigid protocols that maintain diplomatic distance, while private meals suggest friendship and special regard. This protocol adjustment sent clear messages to both American and British audiences about the special nature of the relationship, while allowing for more genuine conversation than formal settings permit. The strategic deployment of human touches within rigid protocol frameworks creates some of the most memorable royal moments. When the Queen shared her umbrella with Meghan Markle during their first joint engagement, she was breaking the standard protocol that each royal person maintains their own personal space and equipment. This small gesture communicated acceptance and maternal care in a way that no amount of formal welcome could achieve. The consequences of unauthorized Protocol breaks within private royal settings can be severe and long-lasting. Staff members who witness family tensions, romantic relationships, or personal conflicts are bound by confidentiality agreements that extend far beyond their employment. Breaking these agreements doesn't just end careers, it can result in legal action and permanent exclusion from royal circles. The most serious violations involve sharing information about family relationships, personal health matters, or internal disagreements that could damage the monarchy's public image. The evolution of private protocols to accommodate modern family structures has created fascinating tensions between tradition and contemporary needs. When family members divorce, remarry, or have children outside traditional marriage arrangements, the protocols must adapt while maintaining fundamental hierarchical principles. These adaptations often happen quietly, without public announcement, but they reflect the ongoing challenge of maintaining ancient traditions within modern family realities. Understanding these private protocols reveals that the royal family lives within constraints that the crown's continuum. Why these rules endure. An age where traditional hierarchies crumble and social media democratizes communication. The persistence of royal protocol seems like an anachronism. Yet these ancient rules not only survive, but continue to evolve, adapting to modern challenges while maintaining their essential function as tools of soft power, diplomatic communication, and institutional stability. Understanding why these protocols endure reveals fascinating insights into how power operates in the contemporary world. The adaptation of ancient traditions to modern media scrutiny has created a fascinating evolution in royal protocol that most observers never notice. Traditional protocols were designed for in-person interactions, where subtle gestures and careful positioning could convey complex messages to limited audiences. Today's media environment, where every royal appearance is photographed from multiple angles and analyzed frame by frame, has forced protocols to become more precise and more visually coherent than ever before. The challenge of maintaining protocol dignity while meeting modern expectations of accessibility has led to remarkable innovations in royal communication. The traditional rule that royalty never respond directly to criticism has evolved into sophisticated media management strategies where protocol violations are addressed indirectly through carefully staged events that demonstrate the correct behavior, without explicitly acknowledging the original breach. When criticism arose about royal family members appearing distant or uncaring, subsequent public appearances were carefully choreographed to show more warmth and accessibility. While maintaining fundamental protocol boundaries, television and photography have transformed protocol requirements in ways that previous generations could never have anticipated. The traditional royal wave, designed to be visible to crowds gathered in person, had to be modified for television cameras that capture every angle and slow-motion replay. The modern royal wave incorporates slight pauses and more deliberate movements that photograph well while maintaining the dignity and symbolism of the original gesture. These adaptations happen gradually and are tested extensively before being implemented in public settings. The rise of social media has created unprecedented challenges for royal protocol management. Traditional protocols could control information flow by managing who attended royal events and what they were permitted to observe. Social media allows anyone present at public royal events to share immediate observations, photographs, and interpretations with global audiences, bypassing traditional media filters and royal communication strategies. The royal family's response to social media challenges has been remarkably sophisticated, involving the strategic use of official social media accounts to provide authoritative perspectives on royal events while maintaining protocol standards. Official royal Instagram and Twitter accounts share carefully selected images and information that demonstrate proper protocol while allowing followers to feel connected to royal activities. This approach maintains traditional hierarchical communication while acknowledging modern expectations of transparency and accessibility. The integration of digital communication with traditional protocols has created fascinating hybrid approaches to royal engagement. Virtual royal visits during the COVID-19 pandemic required the development of entirely new protocols for video conferences, screen sharing, and digital gift presentations. These innovations maintained the essential elements of royal hierarchy and formal interaction, while adapting to technological limitations and public health requirements. The role of younger royals in challenging or redefining protocols has created interesting tensions between tradition and modernization. Prince William and Catherine's approach to royal duties incorporates more informal interaction styles while respecting fundamental protocol requirements. Their ability to appear approachable and contemporary, while maintaining appropriate dignity and hierarchy, demonstrates how protocols can evolve without losing their essential function. However, attempts to dramatically alter or abandon protocols have generally proven unsuccessful and sometimes counterproductive. The challenges faced by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in navigating royal protocol expectations illustrate how deeply embedded these systems are in royal function and public expectations. Their decision to step back from royal duties reflected in part the difficulty of operating within protocol constraints while maintaining personal authenticity and modern values, the international influence of British royal protocols on other monarchies and formal institutions demonstrates their continued relevance in global diplomacy. Many republics and constitutional monarchies around the world adapt British royal protocols for their own ceremonial functions, recognizing their effectiveness in communicating dignity, stability, and respect. The protocols serve as a kind of international diplomatic language that transcends specific cultural contexts while allowing for local adaptations. The economic value of royal protocols in supporting tourism, luxury goods industries, and cultural exports provides practical reasons for their continuation beyond mere tradition. The global fascination with royal protocol creates enormous economic value through tourism, media coverage, and luxury brand associations. Countries invest significantly in maintaining and promoting their royal traditions because they generate substantial economic returns through cultural tourism and international prestige. The psychological functions of royal protocols in providing stability and continuity during times of social change explain much of their enduring appeal. In an era of rapid technological and social transformation, royal protocols provide a sense of continuity and stability that many people find comforting. The unchanging nature of these traditions creates psychological anchors that help societies navigate uncertainty and change. Looking toward the future, the next generation of royals faces the challenge of maintaining protocol relevance while addressing contemporary values of equality, environmental consciousness, and social justice. Prince William's approach to environmental issues and Catherine's focus on mental health demonstrate how traditional royal platforms can be used to address modern concerns while respecting protocol frameworks. The evolution of protocols to accommodate changing family structures, gender expectations, cultural diversity will likely continue gradually, maintaining essential hierarchical and ceremonial functions while adapting to contemporary social realities. The success of these adaptations will determine whether royal protocols remain relevant and effective tools of soft power and cultural communication. The integration of technology, changing social expectations, and global communication challenges will likely drive further protocol innovations, while maintaining the essential elements that make royal ceremonies and interactions distinctive and meaningful. The ability of these ancient systems to adapt while preserving their core functions suggests they will continue to evolve and endure as long as monarchies themselves survive in the modern world. Understanding the persistence and evolution of royal protocols reveals that these seemingly archaic traditions actually